Do you think that's why they have now turned around and attacked the film?
No, no. My condemnation is a small part of it. The media basically blew the story in 1963. I'm talking about the American media. They accepted the cover story, which was put out on Friday afternoon, that Oswald did it alone. And I showed that in the movie with Donald Sutherland. They had the cover story right in place. It was the technique of black operations, the technique of covert operations. They had a studio biography of Oswald that was available on all the wires. You could have been in New Zealand, you could have been in Egypt, you could have been in England, South Africa. You got the same story on Friday afternoon. This was 4 or 5 hours before Oswald was charged with the killing of the president, but it was already starting to point to Oswald. And when Oswald was killed on Sunday by Jack Ruby, the New York Times headline said, "President's assassin is shot." It didn't say president's alleged assassin is shot, which is what it should have said. Oswald never had representation. And the facts about Oswald were buried from the American public. We now know that the CIA had a heavy, increasingly thick 201 file on Oswald from 1960 on. But when Richard Helms testified to the commission, he denied that the CIA had any interest at all in Lee Harvey Oswald.
But why do you think the media have been so aggressive towards you and the film?
Because, number one, it's their territory. They blew the story in 1963. They never asked. The American press never asked why. What is a possible motive for his death? They never. When Indira Gandhi gets blown up and killed in India, the press asks them, what are the opposing political forces? The American press never asked that question. They went right away with the Oswald did it alone. Oswald as communist, although we know that Oswald liked Jack Kennedy, in fact, adored him. They accepted that Oswald was a communist. Jim Garrison brought out in New Orleans that Oswald, as a communist, was hanging out with anti-communists. The same thing in Dallas.
Do you feel I suppose what I'm driving at is, do you feel that the media campaign against you has been orchestrated anyway? I mean, do you feel part of a conspiracy theory?
It could be. I mean, it's one. Look, they've called me everything from a paranoid to a lunatic and everything. So this is ridiculous. But I've always said that there are two conspiracies. There was a small conspiracy. It could involve 5 to 10 people, maybe 11, 12, to kill the president. There is a second conspiracy here to cover it up. Now, because I said that doesn't mean that the New York Times conspired to kill John Kennedy. But something happened. Something happened. There was an embarrassment, let's say. Maybe Lyndon Johnson said to Earl Warren when he forced him under the commission, he said, this is serious. Possibly Castro did it. There could be a war here involving the loss of 40 million lives. He used that word, 40 million lives, to persuade Earl Warren to take this job. There seemed to be this sort of strange and embarrassing desire to cover it up quickly, not to have a major international embarrassment, to pin the thing on Oswald and to move